Another pretty toasty day here in Port Dixon, and another day for a bike ride and a camera test. I've gone out on a couple of bike rides testing camera mounting systems. The very first one was a full-sized broomstick, a big long broomstick, and I had it attached to the frame of the bike. And I found that I've used that in the past and it works, but it was a little bit unwieldy, and the broomstick itself for some reason was like bobbing and shaking a lot more than it used to. And the camera, the video ended up being kind of shaky because of that. So I decided to test something else, which is this smaller broomstick, but it's attached directly to the handlebar stem. And it's a much sturdier connection, much stronger. And because it's shorter, it doesn't bounce around as much. So that was my second test. And I kind of liked this. I liked it more than the full broomstick approach. But I also like to shoot with a 360 camera from time to time. So that's what I'm testing today. And as you can see, I have the 360 camera. This is the Insta360 X3, but I have it mounted at the end of this short section of broomstick, as you can see. So it's a little bit unusual. I don't usually use a 360 camera like this. I normally have it with the Insta360 invisible selfie stick. So the camera would be in line with the selfie stick, and that means the stick would be invisible. But if you mount the 360 camera like this on an angle, now the selfie stick is going to be in the video. It's not going to be invisible, but I don't know if that really matters, because in this case all I want to do is to be able to film myself, and then I can also film to the right, film to the left, film forward. So it's basically taking video in 360 degrees, which means this is now being recorded, but that doesn't matter if I don't actually aim the camera towards the selfie stick when I do the reframing. Anyway, like I said, I really don't know how this is going to work out. I'm just doing this as an experiment. I've never done anything like this before, mounted the 360 camera this way. Of course, I ran into technical difficulties right out of the gate. I was thinking of the 360 camera as the main camera for this experiment. I wanted to be able to mount the 360 camera, and that's the only camera I'm going to use, which means I want the Rode Wireless Go microphone attached to that camera, which is what I normally do. But today, for some reason, every time I plugged in the Rode Wireless Go, it wouldn't record any audio. It recorded a signal. I could actually see it on the 360 camera. There's an audio reader, and as I'm speaking, I can see the audio signal going up and down. It's picking up my voice, but then when I play back the video, there's no audio in the video. And it's just one of those things that never, ever, ever ends. It's like there's a technological problem with everything I ever do. It's unbelievable. Everything I try to do, right out of the gate, I run into some sort of an obstacle, and I don't know why. So I've been inside my room for about an hour. I was just gonna pop on the bike, go for a ride, test the camera, but I couldn't get any audio. So an hour later, I'm still plugging in different cables, unplugging, plugging in, going through the settings, going through the menu, rebooting, restarting, redoing, over and over and over again. But no matter what I did, I could not get the camera to record any audio from the microphone. Just couldn't do it. So that's why I have the GoPro with me now, because I have the Rode Wireless Go plugged into the GoPro. So now that's recording audio, and then I'll use that audio and sync it up with this video. It's just like, yeah, that's just the way my life goes. Nothing ever fits. Everything I try to attach together, they never attach. They never work, and they should work. There's no reason why the camera shouldn't record any audio. I have no explanation for it. It just won't do it this time. Maybe when I do it tomorrow, it will work tomorrow. But anyway, it's not working today. So anyway, that's enough tech talk for now. I'm going to hop on the bike, and I'm going to be running both cameras at the same time. So I'm going to mount the GoPro here and have it facing forward or backward. I don't really need that video, but I'm going to recording video with the GoPro just so I can record audio and then I'll use the audio to sync up with this camera. So let's go for a little bike ride, see how this works out. All right, the great 360 camera experiment has begun. I haven't even got my bike out of the gate yet, and I already ran into 5 more technological problems just in terms of mounting things and getting things to work. I don't know why it has to be that complicated. I must somehow make it more complicated than it needs to be. But anyway, I now have the GoPro recording down at the handlebar level facing forward, and then I have the 360 camera up there recording. And of course, the 360 camera is not actually technically facing in any direction at all because it's recording in 360 degrees. So that's what we're going to do. Gotta close the gate behind me. I keep looking at the bike because as I talked about at length, I have the broomstick mounted to the handlebars of the bike, and that can cause a problem because when the handlebars turn, the camera moves at the end of the broomstick. So if I park my bike and then while it's sitting here and I'm not touching it, the handlebars start to swing, whoosh, the camera could smash into the brick wall, smash into the fence. And of course, I've got this stupid, cheap kickstand right now, and it's not doing a very good job of holding the bike up. And if the bike ever falls over, well, normally it's not a problem for the bike, but if I have the 360 camera up there and the bike falls over, that's it for the camera. You can't, the bike can't fall over even one time, because if it does, that's the end of the camera. You'll smash it. So anyway, I'm gonna go down to the main road here. I'm not gonna go downtown this time. I'm just gonna ride up the main highway for this little test. There's a laundromat up there I spotted on Google Maps. And yeah, I just wanted to take a look at this laundromat because I have to do some laundry maybe. I normally do all my laundry by hand, but sometimes it's nice to hit up a laundromat if I can find a good one. So here we are, recording with the 360 camera. And I'm gonna have to reframe this video, of course, so it can be aiming at me. It can be aiming ahead of me. It can be aiming down at the ground. It can be aiming up in the sky. It can be doing anything at all. I'm not excited about riding down this road, I gotta tell you that. It's got a lot of traffic on it. Very busy, especially on the weekend. But why not? Let's go. So here we are, recording with the 360 camera. Normally, it's a very useful camera to use if there's a lot of interesting things to look at all over the place, because then you can aim the camera. But I must say that this particular highway, this road, not a lot going on. Traffic, I think a natural gas plant, and yeah, so it's quite an industrial area. But we're not going to be going through any markets, food sellers, farming areas, nothing much like that going on. I'm also interested whether the 360 camera will overheat. See how long it'll go before it shuts down. I was thinking about how Nora Lee from the Itchy Boots YouTube channel, how she uses her 360 camera, and she just has it mounted on the handlebars, but way down low. Like, it's not up in the air like I have mine. Hers is like sitting right on top of the handlebars. And she can do that because she's riding a motorcycle, which has a different geometry. But She also doesn't use it like a 360 camera. Like what I'll do is aim the camera forward. I'll aim the camera backwards. I'll aim the camera to the left or to the right. She didn't really use it that way. As far as I could tell, I think a lot of the time she had it in single lens mode. So she was basically using the camera because it had a super wide angle lens. And she was just filming, she was using it basically like a GoPro. But a GoPro with a wider lens. Whoa. There's the Seafront Hotel where I used to stay. Yeah, it feels like I have to raise up my seat a little bit, my bicycle seat. It doesn't feel right the way my knee, my leg, I'm not getting full extension on my leg right now. And that, I think, hurts the knee. So I think I have to raise the seat by an inch or two, get more extension. I hear something big and heavy. Dump truck, cement truck just went roaring by. So it's kind of funny. The last couple of days I've been watching a new series of videos from Backpacker Ben. And Backpacker Ben, he quite often goes on trips lately with a Bald and Bankrupt. I've talked about their videos quite a bit in my behind the scenes videos. And yeah, I saw that he and Bald and Bankrupt, I guess they went to Africa. I haven't watched those videos yet, but his most recent videos were from India. So I watched their videos from India. I have a lot I could talk about. I have a lot of opinions about their India videos. But what I'm thinking about right now is the contrast in camera usage, and I'm kind of jealous of those two. I'm kind of jealous of all these UK vloggers because they all use the Sony FDR X3000 camera, and they don't use anything else. They have that camera and that's it. No microphones, nothing at all. And they get away with it. I mean, their videos are entertaining, they're very popular, so they don't really need a better quality camera. They don't need better quality audio. They don't need mounts, grips, fancy gear. They get by just fine without it. So I'm kind of jealous of that. But at the same time, I do like good audio. So you can say, that they're, you know, if he say Backpacker Ben put out a good video that got 200,000-300,000 views, okay, that's a successful video on YouTube, that's great. And he did it all with no audio, like no microphones. He did it with only the Sony X3000, that's great. But he could make the exact same video, but improve the audio by adding a good microphone. See what I mean? I mean, it doesn't hurt to have good audio, things like that. But as I talked about this morning, as I quickly discovered, yeah, technology takes a big investment of time and energy. So setting up this 360 camera and my GoPro. Took a very long time this morning and nothing would work. The audio wouldn't connect, the microphone wouldn't connect. I still don't know what's wrong with it. So, yeah, you got to be prepared to invest a lot of time and energy. A lot of businesses around here, long strip malls, and somewhere in here is the laundromat that I saw on Google Maps. Well, this is about as far as I wanted to go in this direction. I'm going to try to turn around fairly soon. It's amazing how much traffic comes into Port Dixon on a Saturday. Big line of cars heading into town. Well, I want to turn around, maybe, or actually stop for a second, find out where this laundromat is located. Yeah, I already went past the laundromat, so I'm going to use this intersection as a place to turn around, head back in the other direction. Hello. All right, started the 360 camera and the GoPro again. Okay. All right, turned around. Going to use this intersection so I can turn right. I stopped over there for a little while. I brought along the invisible selfie stick and some other mounting apparatus, and I tried to put the 360 camera sort of at a higher position, you know, play around with it, have some fun, but I couldn't really get anything to work out properly. to mount one of these cameras high in the air, you really need, as I keep talking about, you need 2 mounting points, one at the base and then one part way up. And yeah, I just haven't worked out the mechanics of that. So the place where I have the 360 camera right now, that's the only position I spend any time working out all the bugs. Yeah, if I put it anywhere else, I risk the whole thing falling over and hitting the pavement. So I'm going to stick with this mounting system for now, for my ride back into town. Man, that is definitely something you notice when you go from Vietnam to Malaysia. The difference in the changing frequency of the traffic lights. In Vietnam, at least the places where I went, oh, there's the laundry. Let's go take a look at that place. The traffic lights would go from red to green, back to red to green really, really quickly. But here in Malaysia, they keep their traffic lights on a much longer cycle. Feels like you're waiting forever for the light to turn green. Anyway, this laundromat from a distance looks pretty cool, very modern. There's one right beside the house where I'm staying, but it sounds like a pretty awful place. In order to run one of the washing machines or dryers, you have to download their app. They actually have an app just for that laundromat. You have to download the app, open an account, put money in your account, and then you can use that to pay to run the washing machines. But again, the way they work it out is that you have to add more money to your account than you're actually going to end up needing. So you end up with money left over in your account, and it just sounds pretty nightmarish. I'm just gonna go inside here for a second, just take a look around. No, it looks good. Actually, it looks identical to the laundromat that I found in Kuala Lumpur not that long ago. Laundry Hub. Operates the same way. Tokens. You just put your money into the token machine. You get tokens and you use the tokens. Nice and simple. So if I do want a machine to do laundry, yeah, this is definitely where I'll come. Open 24 hours a day. Perfect. When the Malaysian YouTuber Seacology, he was here in Port Dickson for about 5 or 6 days, and again he did laundry while he was here, and he used that machine or that laundromat near my house, and he told me just how awful it was with having to download the app and all of that stuff. Ooh, mango smoothie. Yeah, this little experiment isn't working out as well as my other one from the other day, but that's mainly because I didn't spend as much time figuring out the details. I kind of threw this together at the last minute, and both of my cameras, every time I go over a bump, they're like flipping over. They're like not straight up and down anymore. It's because I don't have the proper gizmos tightened up enough to hold them in place properly. But at first I wasn't sure if this was my intersection, but I think it is. So here we are, almost back at my house. One thing that amazes me is that neither camera has overheated. The GoPro seems to be running fine. The Insta360 is running fine. Neither one overheated, and today has got to be, I mean, I don't know what the temperature is, but it's hot. So that's a success from that point of view. Yeah, GoPro is still running. That amazes me. 25 frames per second, 30 frames per second. That's the secret. Yeah, here's my turn off. Back to my house. There we are, down in first gear, powering up this steep hill. Yeah, not a bad little experiment. Learned a few things. Now I just have to look at the video from this 360 camera, just see what it looked like, whether it would be useful. Okay. Just to give you an idea of some of the other things I tried. I knew they wouldn't work, but I thought I'd give it a try anyway. So this is the normal Insta360 invisible selfie stick. And I put a ram mount ball on the end of it because it has a 1/4-inch tripod threaded mount on the bottom. And then I put one of these ram mounts here on the, I used a claw to attach it to the seat post, and I put one of these levers on there. And then the idea is that this 1-inch ball can fit in there. And then you tighten that down. And you can really get that tight. So now I've got the 360 selfie stick sticking out the back of the bicycle here. And I put the camera, I don't know if it's in frame or not, but I put the camera up here at the top. And now I've got the 360 camera filming me from an angle from behind, right? So that's what I tried to set up. But as soon as you put the camera on the end here and you go over a bump, it doesn't matter how hard you tighten that down. Eventually, it's going to drop, and it's going to drop and drop and drop and drop, and eventually the camera is going to be scraping along the pavement. So there's no way, I've tried so many different times, there's no way to mount the base of your selfie stick and then imagine that's going to hold up the camera. It just doesn't work. You can mount the base, but then you need another mechanism to hold it here. So you have to have 2 mounting points. So this I discovered, no, there's no way that's going to work. You have to somehow come up with a way that you mount it down here and then up here. So you have to have 2 mounting points. So that's one thing I tried, and I knew it wouldn't work, and it didn't. So I didn't do any filming from there at all. And the other thing that I tried, let's see, was up here at the top. Right now you can see that's where my 360 camera is. And let me remove this. So I got my, I don't need the camera for this demonstration. So one thing I thought I might be able to do is mount it here and put that on here, and then have this going straight up into the air. So then I can raise it really, really high. So I've got this, which is very, very strong. This is strong enough to hold, and I could have the camera way up there, up high, with sort of a downward angle. But I quickly realized that doesn't work, because the base of this is holding on pretty tight, but it can twist, it can rotate this way. So once you start going over bumps, this will eventually turn and the whole thing will come down this way in a circular motion. So that's not going to work either. So that, yeah, that was not going to work. And then I had one more idea, which involved this clamp. And I thought I could put this on the end like that, nice and tight. Now I've got jaws here, and I can put the base of this invisible selfie stick in the jaws, and I could hold it like that, which is kind of cool. It's got a lot of flexibility. You could point it in all kinds of different directions. But again, this is the weak point where it's holding on to the broomstick. Could just barely work, but once you're going over bumps and you really put a lot of torque on it, this is going to twist. It's going to turn, and then the whole camera is going to come down again and hit the pavement. So none of those things really work. The only way to mount a camera like this as I've said already a number of times, you have to have 2 mounting points. So for example, I could have the base of it mounted here and then another attachment point here. And if you have 2, then it'll work. But you can't do it just by holding onto the base. It has to have 2 mounting points. But anyway, that was just for fun. I wanted to try out different mounting procedures with the 360 camera. So that's it, shutting down, and see how the video turned out, and I'll see you in the next video.